The rain hammered Seattle like it had a grudge, turning the streets of Capitol Hill into slick mirrors that shattered under every passing headlight. Alex Thorne slammed his apartment door shut, heart pounding from the scream still echoing in his ears, his boyfriend's words slicing deeper than any knife. "You're nothing without me, Alex. Just a broke barista chasing shadows." He grabbed the bottle of cheap whiskey from the counter, the one he'd sworn off after his last blackout, and in that haze of fury and despair, he didn't see the slick patch on the fire escape stairs until it was too late. One step, a slip, and the world tilted into freefall, the city lights blurring into a final, indifferent smear. When the darkness cracked open again, it wasn't the ER gurney or the cold grip of death he expected. Instead, he was staring at a ceiling fan whirring lazily above a king-sized bed draped in silk sheets that smelled like money and regret. His body felt wrong, lighter, smoother, like slipping into someone else's skin. And then the memories flooded in, not his own. A life as Jasper Hale, the sniveling sidekick in some trashy romance novel he'd binge-read during his last breakup. The one where the toxic billionaire CEO, Damien Voss, toyed with his fragile lover like a cat with a half-dead mouse. Alex bolted upright, the silk whispering against his thighs, his new hands, Jasper's hands, trembling as they clutched the duvet. The room was a penthouse dream, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the glittering sprawl of Seattle's skyline, the Space Needle piercing the night like a forgotten promise. But the memories kept coming, sharp as broken glass. Jasper Hale, 26, heir to a crumbling tech fortune, hopelessly in love with Damien Voss, the 32-year-old wolf of Voss Enterprises, a man whose charm could launch empires and whose cruelty could bury them. In the book, Jasper was the pathetic third wheel, watching Damien parade his true love, the doe-eyed and turn Riley Kane, through galas and boardrooms, only to gaslight Jasper into staying, whispering sweet nothings between slaps of humiliation. "This can't be real," Alex muttered, his voice coming out higher, smoother than his own gravelly baritone. He swung his legs over the bed, bare feet hitting cool marble, and caught his reflection in the vanity mirror. Jasper's face stared back. Olive skin with a perpetual golden tan from Maine summers, hazel eyes wide with inherited panic, tousled chestnut hair falling just so. Not bad, Alex thought, a wry twist to his lips. If this was reincarnation, at least the packaging was an upgrade from his own washed-up 28-year-old self. All pale Irish freckles and perpetual 5 o'clock shadow from too many double shifts at that hole-in-the-wall coffee joint. But the panic clawed deeper. In the novel, Jasper's arc ended in a bottle of pills, a quiet exit after Damien's betrayal peaked at the annual Voss Gala, where the CEO publicly humiliated him to cover for his affair with Riley. Alex remembered devouring those pages in one feverish night, hating how the author romanticized the toxicity, how readers fawned over Damien's brooding intensity. Well, screw that. If he'd been yanked into this mess, transmigrated, reborn, whatever the fanfic gods called it, he wasn't going to play the doormat. Not again. His last life had ended in a puddle of rain and regret. This one, he'd rewrite the damn script. The door to the penthouse suite creaked open, and there he was, Damien Voss in the flesh, shrugging off a tailored wool coat that probably cost more than Alex's old apartment. Tall, broad-shouldered, with the kind of jawline that could cut glass and storm-gray eyes that pinned you like a butterfly to a board. His dark hair was slicked back from the rain, a few rebellious strands curling at his temples, and his lips curved in that signature smirk, the one that said he owned the room, the city, your soul. "Jasper," he drawled, voice like aged bourbon over gravel. "You're up late, dreaming of ways to fuck up my merger again." Alex's heart, Jasper's heart, stuttered, a traitorous flutter from the original owner's devotion. But Alex, he felt a spark ignite, hot and unfamiliar. This was the guy who'd strung Jasper along for years, alternating grand gestures with soul-crushing dismissals, all while Riley simpered in the wings. In the book, Damien was the anti-hero you loved to hate, the hot CEO whose redemption came too late and too shallow. Alex crossed his arms, channeling every ounce of his old life's sarcasm. the kind honed from roasting drunk frat boys at the bar. "Oh, please, Damien. If I wanted to tank your precious merger, I'd start by firing your tailor. That coat looks like it was designed by a blindfolded intern on a bender." Damien froze mid-step, his smirk faltering into something sharper, more intrigued. He tossed the coat over a chair, revealing a crisp white shirt unbuttoned just enough to tease the ink of a tattoo snaking up his chest. A coiled serpent, symbol of his ruthless empire. "What's this? My little shadow growing teeth." He sauntered closer, the air thickening with his cologne. Something spicy and expensive that made Alex's borrowed body hum. Up close, Damien was even more devastating. A faint scar above his left eyebrow from some long-ago bar fight in his Boston days. Full lips that promised sin, and eyes that stripped you bare. Alex held his ground, pulse racing but voice steady. "Teeth? Honey, I've got fangs. And if you think I'm spending another night playing fetch for your ego while you eye-fuck Riley across the boardroom, think again." The words tumbled out, raw and unfiltered, pulling from Alex's own scars. The boyfriend who'd called him worthless. The dreams deferred in a city that chewed up artists like him. Damien's eyes narrowed, a flicker of surprise breaking through the ice. But Alex pressed on, the rush intoxicating. "You're not the sun, Damien. The rest of us don't revolve around your dramatic ass. Get a hobby, therapy, hell, a mirror. One that shows more than your reflection." For a beat, silence stretched taut as a wire. Then Damien laughed, low and genuine, the sound rumbling through the room like distant thunder. He reached out, fingers grazing Alex's jaw, tilting his chin up with a possessiveness that sent sparks down his spine. "Feisty tonight, aren't we? Careful, Jasper. I might start to like it." His thumb brushed Alex's lower lip, lingering just long enough to blur the line between threat and temptation. Alex jerked back, heat flooding his cheeks. Not Jasper's blush, but his own buried longing, the part of him that had always craved someone who saw through the bullshit. "Like it or lump it," Alex shot back, stepping away toward the kitchenette, needing space to breathe. "But if we're doing this dance, set some ground rules. No more late-night apologies that end in you ghosting me for your flavor of the month. And Riley, keep your paws off him until you figure out what the hell you want." He poured himself a glass of water from the pitcher, hands steady despite the storm inside. This wasn't just survival, it was rebellion. In his old life, he'd swallowed every insult, chased every crumb of affection. Here, in this second chance, he'd roast Damien until the man choked on his own ashes, or maybe, just maybe, until he tasted something real. Damien watched him, leaning against the counter with that predatory grace, arms crossed over his chest. "Riley's just business, Jasper. You know that." But his tone lacked conviction, and Alex caught the shadow in his eyes, the one the book glossed over. The loneliness of a man who'd built walls higher than his skyscrapers, brick by brick of boardroom battles and family betrayals. Damien's father had died young, leaving him to claw Voss Enterprises from near ruin, and the novel painted it as fuel for his fire. But Alex saw deeper. The boy from Beacon Hill who'd learned love was a transaction. "Bullshit," Alex said softly, meeting his gaze. "Business doesn't make you look at someone like they're the only oxygen in the room. And it sure as hell doesn't make you treat the rest of us like disposable coffee cups." He set the glass down, the clink echoing. Damien's hand shot out, grabbing his wrist. Not hard, but firm enough to anchor. "What happened to you?" Damien murmured, voice dropping an octave, searching Alex's face like it was a map to lost treasure. "Last week you were begging me not to leave. Now you're this." Alex swallowed, the lie of Jasper's memories warring with his truth. "People change, Damien. Or maybe they just stop pretending." He pulled free gently, heading for the door. "I'm crashing at my place tonight. Alone. Think about that merger, and about why you're so damn scared of anything that sticks." As he stepped into the elevator, the doors whispering shut on Damien's stunned expression, Alex leaned against the mirrored wall, exhaling shakily. Holy shit. He just roasted the untouchable CEO and walked away in one piece. The descent felt like falling all over again, but this time toward something solid. Seattle's rain-slicked streets waited below, and with them, a city full of possibilities. Jasper's loft in Fremont wasn't far. A quirky converted warehouse with exposed brick and views of the ship canal, stuffed with half-finished sculptures from the original owner's failed art dreams. Alex had glimpsed those memories. Jasper's hands, calloused from clay, shaping forms that mirrored his fractured heart. By the time he unlocked the door, the adrenaline had ebbed into exhaustion. He collapsed onto the worn leather couch, surrounded by canvases splashed with blues and grays, echoes of Puget Sound storms. His phone buzzed, Jasper's phone, sleek and silver, with a text from Riley. "Heard you two fought again. Want to grab drinks?" Alex stared at it, the green bubble mocking him. In the book, this was the setup. Riley, the sweet 24-year-old with floppy blonde hair and Midwestern wholesomeness, luring Jasper into a drunken confession that Damien twisted into betrayal. But Alex wasn't biting. He typed back, "Rain check. Got my own storms to weather." He tossed the phone aside, pulling a sketch pad from the coffee table. His fingers, Jasper's fingers, itched for creation, and soon lines bloomed. A rough outline of Damien, not the polished mogul, but the raw edges, the scar, the guarded eyes, the mouth that could curl cruel or kind. Alex drew until dawn crept in, gray light filtering through the warehouse windows, turning the canal into liquid silver. Sleep came in fits, haunted by dual dreams. His old Seattle life, pouring lattes for hipsters who never saw him, and this new one, where he could be the architect of his fate. Morning brought coffee, strong, black, from the French press Jasper favored, and a resolve hardening like clay in the kiln. He dressed in slim jeans and a faded band tee from some long-gone Maine folk festival, the fabric soft against his skin. Voss Enterprises loomed downtown, a glass monolith in the shadow of the market, where fishmongers hawked their catches and tourists dodged gummed sidewalks. Alex took the bus, the jolt of it grounding him, watching the city unfold. Joggers in Discovery Park, ferries slicing Elliott Bay, the hum of lives intersecting like threads in a tapestry. The lobby was a cathedral of chrome and marble, receptionists in power suits glancing up with practiced smiles. "Mr. Hale," one purred. "Mr. Voss is expecting you in the executive suite." Alex nodded, stepping into the elevator that shot him skyward, stomach flipping like the first drop of a roller coaster. The doors opened to a floor of hushed opulence. Abstract art on walls, assistants darting like minnows. And there, at the end of the hall, Damien's office, floor-to-ceiling glass overlooking the sound, a desk like a battleship. Damien looked up from his laptop as Alex entered, uninvited but unchallenged. He was in full CEO mode. Sleeves rolled to elbows, revealing forearms corded with muscle, and that serpent tattoo coiling toward his wrist. "Jasper. Bold move, showing up after last night." His voice was even, but his eyes raked over Alex with fresh hunger, like he'd spent the night dissecting every word. Alex dropped into the leather chair opposite, legs crossed casually. "Bold? Nah, just practical. We need to talk about the merger before you torpedo it with your Riley drama." He leaned forward, elbows on knees, channeling the confidence he'd faked through 100 awkward dates. "That biotech startup? Their IP is gold. But if you let your personal bullshit leak into negotiations, it'll sink faster than the Titanic." Damien's brow arched, a slow smile creeping in. "Personal bullshit? That's rich coming from the man who cried in my arms last month over a goddamn painting rejection." He stood, circling the desk with deliberate steps, coming to perch on its edge inches from Alex. The proximity was electric, Damien's knee brushing his, heat seeping through denim. "What's your angle here, Jasper? Sabotage? Or are you finally growing a spine?" Alex met his stare, unflinching, the air between them crackling. "My angle? Fixing this mess you call a life. Starting with you admitting Riley's not business. He's your escape hatch from whatever demons you've got chained in that fancy basement of yours." He paused, voice softening just a notch. I see you, Damien. The real you, not the Voss Enterprises poster boy. The guy who sketches blueprints in the margins of contracts. Who hums old Springsteen tunes when he thinks no one's listening. Damien's breath hitched, the mask slipping for a heartbeat. How did Jasper know about the sketches? The humming? Alex didn't. Those were flashes from the book's backstory, pieced together like puzzle bits. But they landed, burrowing deep. Damien's hand landed on Alex's shoulder, thumb tracing the curve of his collarbone through the T. You don't know shit about my demons, he whispered. But there was no bite, only a raw edge that tugged at Alex's chest. Then let me in, Alex challenged, rising to his feet, closing the gap until their breaths mingled. Or keep pushing everyone away until you're king of an empty castle. The words hung heavy, a gauntlet thrown. Damien's grip tightened, pulling him closer, lips hovering a whisper from Alex's. For a suspended moment, the world narrowed to that tension, the unspoken pull between ruin and redemption. Then the intercom buzzed, shattering it. Mr. Voss, the board's here for the pre-merger briefing. Damien released him, stepping back with a curse under his breath, composure snapping back like armor. This isn't over, he said, eyes promising storms. Alex smirked, heading for the door. Damn right it's not. As he rode the elevator down, heart hammering, he realized this wasn't just rewriting a story, it was rewriting himself. And for the first time since the fall, he felt alive, truly dangerously so. The rest of the day blurred in a haze of Jasper's routine. Lunch at a Pike Place food truck, salmon tacos that burst with salt and smoke, sketching in a hidden corner of the market where buskers strummed covers of Fleetwood Mac. But his mind circled back to Damien, to the almost kiss that hummed like unfinished music. By evening, as fog rolled in off the sound, Alex found himself at a Fremont dive bar, the kind with neon signs flickering open and walls papered in faded band posters. He nursed a local IPA, the hops bitter on his tongue, when Riley slid onto the stool beside him. Riley Kane, all golden retriever energy, with tousled blonde waves and blue eyes like summer skies over Lake Michigan, where he'd grown up before chasing dreams in the city. In the book, he was the innocent catalyst, but up close, Alex saw the cracks. The way Riley's smile didn't reach his eyes, the fidget of fingers around his gin and tonic. Jasper, man, you look wrecked. Damien give you hell again. Alex studied him, weighing truths. Something like that. You? Riley shrugged, but his laugh was forced. Always. He's intense. But you get it, right? The pull. There it was, the novel's web tightening. Alex could steer this, fix the toxicity before it poisoned them all. Intense is one word, toxic's another. Riley, what if we both walked, found our own paths instead of orbiting his gravity? Riley blinked, glass pausing mid-sip. Walk? From Damien? That's, I don't know, Jasper. He's got this hold. His voice cracked, vulnerability spilling out like the fog outside. Alex reached over, squeezing his forearm gently. Holds break, and what comes after? Freedom. Real shit, not shadows. They talked late into the night, words weaving through the bar's haze. Riley opening up about his small-town roots, the pressure of being the pretty face in a cutthroat world. Alex shared snippets. Not his old life, but echoes. The ache of unrequited art, the sting of love that clipped wings. By closing time, Riley hugged him tight, whispering, "You're different, Jazz, braver." As Alex stumbled home through misty streets, the canal lapping softly, he felt the first threads of alliance forming. But doubt gnawed. Could he really thaw Damien's ice without getting burned? Sleep evaded him again, the loft silence amplifying the what-ifs. Dawn broke with a text from Damien. My place. 8 a.m. We finished this talk. Alex's pulse quickened, a mix of dread and thrill. Round 2 then. He dressed carefully. Chinos and a button-down that hugged Jasper's lean frame, sleeves rolled to mirror Damien's style. The drive to the penthouse was a blur of coffee and classic rock on the radio, Springsteen crooning about Born to Run Hearts. Damien answered the door in joggers and a tank. Sweat glistened from a home gym session, muscles flexing as he gestured him in. "Coffee?" he offered, voice gruff but not unkind. Alex nodded, following to the kitchen where the machine hissed like a waking dragon. They stood there, steam rising between them, until Damien broke the quiet. "You were right last night. About Riley. About a lot." Alex sipped, scalding his tongue, buying time. "Yeah? And?" Damien set his mug down, rounding the island to face him. "And I want to know why. What flipped the switch in you?" His eyes searched, intense, peeling layers. Alex set his cup aside, stepping into the breach. "Life's too short for games, Damien. I almost lost everything once, almost. Now, I'm done settling." It was truth, veiled in Jasper's voice, but it landed like a stone in still water. Damien's hand cupped his neck, thumb stroking the pulse point. "Then don't settle." The kiss came fierce, claiming, Damien's lips hot and demanding, tasting of black coffee and unspoken needs. Alex melted into it, hands fisting in Damien's tank, the world narrowing to the slide of tongues, the press of bodies. It was fire, raw, consuming. And when they broke apart, gasping, Damien's eyes held a new light, vulnerable and fierce. But as they tangled toward the bedroom, doubts whispered. This was too fast, too scripted. And in the novel's shadow, betrayal loomed. Alex pushed it down, losing himself in Damien's touch, the rain pattering approval against the windows. For now it was enough. For now it was everything. The afterglow lingered like Seattle's summer haze, thick and golden, but Alex knew better than to trust it. He lay sprawled across Damien's chest, sheets twisted around their legs, the penthouse quiet save for the distant hum of traffic on I-5. Damien's fingers traced lazy patterns on his back, over the faint scars Jasper carried from a childhood fall off the family dock in Bar Harbor. Marks Alex now wore like borrowed armor. "Stay?" Damien murmured, voice rough from sleep and something deeper, his breath warm against Alex's temple. Alex propped himself on an elbow, studying the man who just unraveled him with a touch. Damien Voss, the Ice King, looked almost human in the morning light. Hair mussed, stubble shadowing his jaw, that serpent tattoo peeking from the sheet like a secret. "Tempting," Alex replied, keeping it light. "But I've got a life outside your orbit. Sculptures don't carve themselves." He slid from the bed, gathering clothes with deliberate nonchalance, though his limbs buzzed with the memory of Damien's hands, strong and sure, mapping every inch. Damien sat up, sheets pooling at his waist, eyes narrowing with that possessive glint. "Sculptures, right? Because clay's more reliable than flesh and blood." There it was, the old jab, laced with insecurity the book had buried under bravado. Alex paused, buttoning his shirt, meeting Damien's gaze head-on. "Reliable? Maybe. But at least it doesn't ghost you after promising the stars." He softened it with a half-smile, stepping close to press a kiss to Damien's forehead. "We'll figure this out, but not by smothering each other." The elevator ride down was a cool reprieve, Alex's reflection in the mirrors showing flushed cheeks and swollen lips. He felt seen, desired in a way his old life never allowed, raw, unpolished. But as he emerged into the lobby, phone buzzing with Riley's name, reality bit. "Lunch? Need to vent about D." Alex texted back. "Pike Place, 1 p.m. My treat. Time to untangle the web before it snared them all." Pike Place Market was alive with midday chaos. Vendors tossing salmon through the air to cheers, the scent of fresh flowers mingling with roasted nuts and sea salt. Alex found Riley at a corner table outside a crepe stand, nursing a chai latte, his blonde curls catching the rare sun. "You look glowy," Riley said, eyeing him with a mix of envy and curiosity. Damien finally pull his head out? Alex slid into the seat, ordering a savory crepe stuffed with smoked salmon and leeks. "Something like that, but it's fragile, like one of my pots, beautiful until it cracks under heat. He leaned in, voice low. What about you? Still dancing to his tune. Riley's laugh was bitter, stirring his drink. Dancing? More like tripping over strings he yanks. Last night, he called me over after some emergency meeting, all charm and apologies. Then bailed for a 2 a.m. flight to Portland. Left me staring at his empty penthouse like an idiot. His eyes, so blue and open, clouded with hurt. Alex reached across, covering Riley's hand. That's not on you. That's Damien's pattern. Pull close, push away. Repeat until everyone's bleeding. They ate in companionable silence at first, the market's rhythm a backdrop. A street violinist drawing bow over strings, tourists snapping pics of the public market sign. Then Riley opened up, words spilling like the fountain nearby. Born in a fading steel town outside Milwaukee, he'd fled to Seattle for design school, only to land in Voss's intern pool, dazzled by the glamour. I thought it was love, he confessed, forking a bite of crepe. But it's addiction. He makes you feel like the center of the universe, then reminds you you're just orbiting. Alex nodded, seeing parallels to his own ghosts, the ex who dangled stability like a carrot, yanking it away. I get it. But Riley, you're more than his muse. Those sketches you do? The ones of the fairies at dusk? They're poetry. Don't let him dim that. He pulled out his phone, flipping to a photo from Jasper's gallery. One of Riley's quick urban landscapes, all bold lines and moody shadows. This is you. Claim it. Riley's cheeks pinked, a genuine smile breaking through. When did you get so wise, Jez? Spill. What's your secret? Alex hesitated, the transmigration truth too wild to voice. Instead, he shrugged. Near-death clarity. Makes you reprioritize. They lingered until the sun dipped, plotting an escape. Riley applying to a gallery in Portland, Alex committing to a solo show at a Fremont co-op. No more toxic triangles, Alex toasted with his water glass. To second X. But as he bussed home, the high faded. His phone lit with Damien's text. Missed you already. Dinner tonight? Somewhere quiet. Alex's thumb hovered, temptation warring with caution. Sure. But ground rules, no work talk. Just us. The reply was instant. Deal. Pick you up at 7. The loft felt smaller that evening, Jasper's sculptures looming like silent judges. Abstract forms of twisted metal and fired clay, capturing longing in every curve. Alex showered, the hot water sluicing away market grit, and chose an outfit that felt like armor. Dark jeans, a Henley in deep green that brought out Jasper's hazel eyes. Prompt at 7, Damien's black Audi purred up to the curb, the man himself emerging in chinos and a cashmere sweater, looking every inch the off-duty magnate. You clean up nice, Damien said, opening the passenger door with a flourish that bordered on old-world charm. Alex slid in, the leather seats enveloping him in luxury. Flattery? Careful, I might think you're trying. The drive wound through Fremont's artsy veins, past graffiti murals and breweries, to a hidden gem in Wallingford. A bistro tucked behind a bookstore, all candlelight and exposed beams. They ordered oysters and risotto, the wine a crisp Washington Pinot that loosened tongues. Damien talked, really talked, about the merger pressures, the board's whispers of his distractions. But Alex steered him deeper. What scared you as a kid? He asked over dessert. A shared tiramisu dusted with cocoa. Damien paused, fork midway. Losing control. Dad's heart attack. One day he was yelling at me over little league scores. Next he was gone. Left me with a company on life support and a mother who drowned in gin. Alex's chest tightened, seeing the boy beneath the titan. That's heavy, but it doesn't have to define you. He reached across, lacing fingers. Let me in, Damien. All the way. The touch ignited, Damien's grip tightening as their eyes locked, the bistro fading to a hum. Back at the penthouse, the night unfolded slow and deliberate, clothes shedding like old skins. Damien was reverent this time, kisses trailing fire down Alex's neck, hands exploring with a tenderness that belied his reputation. You're undoing me, Damien whispered against his skin, voice breaking on the edge of awe. Alex arched into it, whispering back, "Good. We both need unraveling." They moved together, bodies sinking in a rhythm that felt fated, the rain outside a soft applause. After, tangled in sheets, Damien's head on Alex's chest, the vulnerability cracked open. "I pushed Riley because he was safe. No stakes. You're a goddamn wildfire." Alex stroked his hair, heart swelling. "Then burn with me." Sleep claimed them, dreams weaving their pasts into one. But morning brought intrusion. A knock at the door, sharp and insistent. Damien groaned, pulling on a robe. Housekeeping, probably. Alex stayed in bed, but curiosity drew him to the living room in boxers. The door opened to Riley, disheveled and wild-eyed, clutching a bottle of vodka like a lifeline. "Damien, I can't do this anymore. The calls, the promises. It's killing me." Damien's face shuddered, but Alex stepped forward, voice calm. "Riley, easy. Come in." The air thickened with unspoken accusations, Riley's gaze flicking between them, landing on the rumpled bed visible down the hall. "Oh, so that's it. You too." While I'm crumbling. Hurt laced his words, raw as an open wound. Damien tensed, but Alex intervened, guiding Riley to the couch. "It's not a competition. See, talk." What followed was a torrent. Riley's sobs, confessions of stolen moments with Damien, the gaslighting that left him doubting his sanity. Damien paced, guilt etching lines on his face, until he knelt before Riley, voice breaking. "I was wrong. So damn wrong. This ends now, all of it." Alex watched, mediating with quiet strength, the scene a pivot point. Hours passed in tears and truths, until Riley stood, drained but lighter. "I need space. Real space." He hugged Alex fiercely. "Thank you for seeing me." The door clicked shut, leaving silence. Damien turned to Alex, eyes haunted. "How did you handle that? Like some therapist guru." Alex pulled him close. "Practice. And because I care about both of you." They collapsed together, the bond forging stronger in the forge of crisis. But as night fell, Alex's mind raced. The novel's plot twisted here, betrayal averted, but shadows lingered. Was this fix permanent or just a prettier illusion? Days blurred into a tentative rhythm. Mornings with Damien over espresso, plotting merger strategies with Alex's fresh insights. Jasper's business acumen sharpened by Alex's street-smart intuition. Afternoons in the loft, Alex shaping clay into forms inspired by their nights. Damien dropping by with takeout and stories of his Boston youth. The Irish Catholic guilt that fueled his drive. Evenings were theirs. Walks along the locks, watching salmon leap, or curled on the couch with old noir films. Damien's arm a steady weight. Riley texted sporadically, applied to that Portland gig. Feels scary good. His healing a quiet victory. Alex felt the story bending, his presence the fulcrum. But cracks showed. Damien's late nights at the office. The way his phone buzzed with anonymous numbers, echoes of old habits. One evening, after a gala where Damien shone like polished obsidian, introducing Alex as my partner, with a pride that warmed his bones, they returned to the penthouse buzzing. Champagne flowed, toasts to the merger's green light. Damien pulled him into the study, a room of leather-bound books and a massive oak desk. "To us," he said, clinking glasses, then setting his aside to kiss Alex senseless, backing him against the desk. The heat built fast, Damien's hands roaming, whispers of mine against skin. But mid-undress, Alex's phone chimed from his pocket. A photo from an unknown number. Damien, locked in an embrace with a sharp-featured man in a hotel bar, time-stamped last week. The caption, "Some things never change." Alex's blood ran cold, shoving Damien back. "What the hell is this?" He thrust the phone forward, the image glaring. Damien's face paled, eyes widening in genuine shock. "Alex, Jasper, that's not." "Fuck." He grabbed the phone, zooming in. "This is Portland. The client dinner. That's Marcus Hale, my lawyer. We were celebrating the deal close. It's a hug, nothing more. Alex searched his face, the roast rising unbidden. A hug? In a dimly lit bar with your hand on his ass? Come on, Damien. I've seen the script. Hurt Ward with anger, his old life scars reopening. Damien stepped closer, desperate. I swear it's nothing. You're the only one. Please. The plea hung, and Alex exhaled, handing back the phone. Prove it. Delete the number. And next time, no shadows. Damien did, fingers flying, then pulled Alex into a crushing embrace.
No shadows.
Ever. The night salvaged. They made love with an urgency born of fear, reaffirming in touches and tears. Yet doubt seeded, a quiet rot. Alex buried it in creation, firing a new piece. Two figures entwined, one reaching, the other pulling away. Love's fragile dance. He entered it in the co-op show, the opening a whirlwind of wine and whispers. Damien attended, arm around Alex's waist, pride evident. Riley sent flowers. Proud of you, friend. The night soared, sales trickling in, validation sweet. But as confetti settled, a gallery owner pulled Alex aside. This one's raw. What's the story? Alex glanced at Damien, laughing with patrons.
Second chance.
And the fight to keep them. She nodded, buying it on the spot. Walking home through confetti-strewn streets, Damien's hand in his, Alex felt hope bloom. But in the novel's echo, climax loomed, betrayal's shadow lengthening. The merger closed with fanfare. Voss Enterprises swallowing the biotech firm in a press conference at the Olympic Hotel, flashbulbs popping like fireworks over the waterfront. Alex stood off stage, Jasper's suit tailored sharp, watching Damien command the room. Charisma dialed to 11, that serpent tattoo flashing as he signed papers with a flourish. To innovation, Damien toasted the cameras, gray eyes finding Alex in the crowd, a private wink amid the chaos. Pride swelled in Alex's chest, mingled with a prick of unease. This was the book's midpoint, success masking the unraveling. After, champagne flowed in a private suite overlooking the harbor, fairies gliding like ghosts. Damien pulled Alex into an alcove, lips brushing his ear. You were brilliant in prep. That clause on IP retention saved my ass. His hand slid low on Alex's back, possessive. Alex leaned into it, savoring the win. Team effort. Now, about that vacation you promised. No mergers, just us. Damien's laugh rumbled. Deal.
Big sûr?
Or something wilder, like the Badlands. Alex grinned.
Surprise-me.
But as Damien was pulled away by investors, Alex's phone vibrated. Another anonymous text. A grainy photo of Damien in the suite's bathroom mirror, shirtless, typing furiously. Secrets? The message read. Alex's stomach nodded, but he deleted it, chalking it to a jealous ex. Jasper's history was littered with them. Riley called later, voice buoyant. Portland offer came through, starting next month. Oh, you Jazz. Alex paced his loft, canal lights twinkling outside. You earned it. Fly, man. They chatted dreams, Riley's gallery visions, Alex's expanding studio plans. Hanging up, he felt the pieces shifting. Riley free, the toxic core fracturing. But sleep brought dreams of falls, rain-slick stares, and Damien's face morphing into his ex's, accusatory. Morning coffee at a Queen and Cafe brought clarity. He needed roots, not just borrowed ones. Alex spent the day networking, Jasper's contacts opening doors to a mentor in Ballard, a grizzled sculptor named Harlan who ran a communal kiln. You've got fire, kid, Harlan grunted over clay-smeared hands. But fire burns out if you don't feed it truth. Alex nodded, the words a mirror to his transmigration truth, buried deep. Damien swept him up that evening for an impromptu date. A seaplane ride over the sound at dusk, the city shrinking to jewels below. They landed on a private dock near Bainbridge, a picnic waiting, oysters, charcuterie, a bottle of rose chilled in ice. To us? Damien said, clinking plastic cups, the water lapping gentle. They talked deep into twilight. Damien's fear of vulnerability, rooted in his mother's abandonment after his father's death. Alex sharing veiled tales of his past life, the ache of unlived art. As stars pricked the sky, Damien drew him down to the blanket, lovemaking slow and unhurried, the waves a symphony. I love you, Damien whispered after, the words slipping out like a confession. Alex's heart stuttered, Jasper's echo amplifying his own buried longing. Love you too, he replied, meaning it, the bond sealing like fired porcelain. But the idyll shattered midweek. At Voss, during a strategy session, Alex overheard whispers in the hall. Voss's boy toy? Cute, but that merger smells off. Insider leaks. Paranoia flickered. That night, Damien was late, phone silent. Alex waited in the penthouse, sketching absently. A portrait of Riley, free and fierce. When Damien arrived, disheveled from a crisis call, Alex confronted gently. Everything good? Damien collapsed onto the couch, head in hands, boards sniffing around. Accusations of favoritism, because of you. His eyes lifted, pained. I shut it down, but it's ugly. Alex knelt before him, mirroring their earlier moment with Riley. Then fight clean. No more secrets. Damien pulled him up, kiss desperate. No secrets. Yet the texts persisted, anonymous barbs escalating. A voice memo of Damien arguing heatedly, words like cover it up garbled. Alex traced the number to a burner, but doubt festered. He confided in Harlan over kiln fires, the old man's advice blunt. Trust is clay, mold it, but test the heat. Alex tested, suggesting a weekend away, just them. Damien agreed eagerly, booking a cabin in the Olympics, evergreens whispering secrets. The drive up was bliss. Winding roads through Hoh rainforest, mist cloaking ferns like veils. The cabin was rustic charm, log walls, a stone fireplace, a deck overlooking a creek. They hiked trails slick with moss, hands linked, Damien sharing boyhood stories of Cape Cod summers, building sand empires that tides claimed. You make me want to build something lasting, he said, pausing at a waterfall's roar. Nights were firelit, bodies entwined on a bearskin rug, laughter echoing. But on the second day, as Alex sketched the creek's bend, Damien's phone rang, insistent. He stepped away, voice low. Alex strained to hear. Doc can't bury it forever. Riley knows too much. The words chilled, piecing a puzzle Alex dreaded. When Damien returned, face stormy, Alex feigned casual. Everything okay? Work bullshit. Damien dismissed, but his eyes avoided. That night, over venison stew, tension simmered. Alex broke it. Damien, those texts. Someone's trying to drive a wedge. Tell me it's nothing. Damien set his fork down, expression crumbling. It's old baggage. Before you. A deal gone south, payoffs to silence a whistleblower. Riley was peripherally involved, intern shit. I handled it. Alex's blood iced. Handled how? By lying. The roast slipped out, sharp. You're the king of clean slates, but this? It's dirt under your nails. Damien recoiled, then surged forward, gripping Alex's arms. I was protecting us. The merger, my legacy, everything. Tears glistened in his eyes, rare vulnerability. Don't make me choose. Alex pulled free, standing. You already did. Every secret's a choice. He grabbed his jacket, storming into the night, the forest swallowing him. Rain started, fitting, as he hiked blindly, sobs mixing with downpour. Hours later, soaked and shivering, he returned to find Damien pacing the deck, relief flooding his face. God, Alex, I thought. He enveloped him in a towel, words tumbling. Apologies, promises to come clean, to hire lawyers, face the music. They talked till dawn by the fire, Damien laying bare the scandal. A faulty drug trial years back, buried to save the company. Riley unwittingly signing off on docs. I was 25, terrified. Now, I want redemption. With you. Alex listened, heart aching, seeing the man, not the monster. Then do it. But no more alone. They made love then, tender and tear-streaked, forgiveness forging stronger steel. Back in Seattle, action followed. Damien met with the board, disclosing partial truths, restructuring oversight. Riley, looped in via call, forgave with Midwestern grace. We all fuck up, just don't drag me down again. Alex's show gained buzz. A collector from LA snapping up pieces, whispering of SoCal exhibits. Life aligned, but the anonymous sender loomed, texts turning venomous. He'll burn you too. One night, post-gala triumph, Damien's arm around him on the red carpet, flashes immortalizing their unity. Alex traced the number to a familiar alias. Elena Voss, Damien's estranged sister, bitter over inheritance cuts. Confrontation came at her Pike Place loft. Alex arriving unannounced, Damien in tow. Elena, sharp as shattered glass, with Damien's eyes but colder, sneered. Little brother's lapdog. Goo. The air crackled, accusations flying. Her sabotage born of resentment, leaks to press for leverage. Damien faced her, voice steel. Enough. We're family or we cut ties. Tears streaked her face, the villain humanized. Abandoned by their mother, Damien's success assault in wounds. Alex mediated, words weaving compassion. Hurt doesn't justify poison, but it explains it. Help us fix this, Elena. By dawn, truces formed. Elena withdrawing leaks, seeking therapy, a tentative bridge rebuilt. Driving home, sun rising over the sound, Damien squeezed Alex's thigh. You're my anchor. Alex smiled, but weariness tugged. The fix was halfway. Climax brewed. Riley's farewell party was a Fremont warehouse bash. Craft beers, indie band thumping bass, friends toasting his Portland flight. Alex danced with Damien, bodies sinking amid strobe lights, but caught Riley's eye across the crowd, grateful, free. As confetti rained, a final text pinged. Enjoy the fall. Attached, a video. Damien in Elena's loft days prior arguing. Not innocently, but with hands on her shoulders, intimacy blurred. Alex's world tilted, betrayal's knife twisting. He slipped outside, rain welcoming, phone clutched like evidence. Damien found him minutes later. Alex? What's wrong? The video played, accusation in Alex's eyes. Damien cursed, explaining. She was breaking down. A hug. Nothing. Swear on my life. But doubt roared, Alex's voice cracking. Hugs don't lie like that. Are you playing me? All of us. Damien's face crumpled, pulling him close despite resistance. No. God, no. Elena's twisting it, payback. They drove to her place, confrontation exploding. Elena admitting the edit, malice pure. But the damage lingered, trust frayed. Back home, Alex packed a bag. Space. I need to believe you. Damien begged, tears streaming. Don't. Please. But Alex left, loft's door clicking final. Alone, he sculpted through the night. A shattered form, pieces jagged, heart's echo. Dawn brought resolve. Fight or flee. He chose fight, but on his terms. The loft became Alex's fortress, days bleeding into a rhythm of isolation and creation. He fired pieces in Harlan's kiln, the heat mirroring his inner blaze, shapes emerging fierce. Lovers locked in combat, not embrace, edges sharp as accusations. Damien's texts piled up. Miss you. Talk. Unanswered. Riley called from Portland, settled in a rainy studio apartment overlooking the Willamette. Heard about the blow-up. You okay? Alex paced the canal-side windows, fog muting the world. Processing. But yeah. You. Riley's laugh was lighter now, unburdened. Thriving. First exhibit next month, your influence, jazz. Gratitude warmed Alex, a reminder of ripples cast. Proud of you. Roast that city. Hanging up, he felt the transmigration's gift. Not just survival, but salvage. Jasper's life, once a footnote, now a canvas. Harlan noticed the shift during a late session, sparks flying as he quenched a mold. Trouble in paradise? The old man grunted, wiping soot-streaked brows. Alex hammered clay, words spilling. Trust's a bitch. One crack, and it all crumbles. Harlan nodded, eyes crinkling. Then rebuild. Stronger mortar. Advice stuck. Alex inviting Damien for coffee, not reconciliation, but reckoning. They met at a neutral ground. A magnolia bluff overlooking the sound, benches worn by salt wind. Damien arrived early, coffee steaming in to-go cups, face haggard dark circles from sleepless strategy calls, the merger's aftershocks. "You look good," he said, voice tentative, handing over the cup. Alex accepted, the warmth seeping through. "Liar, but thanks." They sat, waves crashing below, words cautious at first. Voss updates, Elena's therapy progress. A grudging report of her apology letter, laced with regret. Then deeper. Damien's fear of loss, rooted in graveside vows to never falter. "I pushed you away to protect." "Stupid, I know." Alex sipped, staring at a gull wheeling. "Protection feels like prison when it's one-sided. I need partner, not savior." Damien's hand hovered, then settled on Alex's knee. "Then that's us. Partners." The touch grounded, but Alex pulled back gently. "Prove it daily. No grand gestures, just honesty." They walked the bluff after, shoulders brushing, the air clearing like post-storm sky. At the car, a chaste kiss. Promise, not possession. Re-entry was slow. Dinners at the loft, Damien chopping veggies while Alex sketched. Conversations meandering from boardroom battles to boyhood pranks. One night, over pad thai from a Belltown hole in the wall, Damien slid a folder across the table. Legal docs, his full disclosure to the board on the old scandal, penalties accepted, a fine oversight committee. "Clean slate," he said, eyes earnest. Alex flipped pages, relief flooding. Brave. Intimacy rebuilt brick by brick. A hand on the small of back. A shared shower turning playful. Then heated, bodies rediscovering trust in suds and steam. "I was lost without you," Damien confessed after, towel dried and tangled on the couch. Alex traced his tattoo, fingers lingering on scales. "Found now. Stay." But external storms brewed. The anonymous leaks hit the press. Headlines screaming Voss scandal. Buried secret surface. Reporters swarmed the penthouse. Voss stock dipped. Bored whispers turned to shouts. Damien fortified, but cracks showed. Temper flares over conference calls. Nights pacing the study. Alex anchored him, brewing tea, listening to rants. "This too shall," he murmured, pulling Damien to bed, love-making a bomb. Elena's role emerged clearer. Not sole villain, but pawn in a larger game. A private investigator Damien hired uncovered ties to a rival firm, her resentment weaponized. Confrontation at a neutral cafe in Capitol Hill. Elena, gaunt but eyes clearer, admitted collusion. "I was drowning, Alex. Damien, shut me out after Dad." Tears fell, and Alex saw the family fracture, mended tentatively. "We're all drowning sometimes," he said. "Grab the line." She nodded, promising testimony to clear Voss. The crisis peaked at a shareholder meeting in Voss's auditorium, tiered seats filled with suits and skepticism. Alex sat front row, heart pounding as Damien took the podium, voice steady. Mistakes were made, but growth follows. He detailed reforms, Elena beside him, her statement a bombshell. Family first, finally. Applause built slow, then thunderous, stock rebounding by close. After, in the green room, Damien crushed Alex in a hug. "Couldn't without you." Champagne popped, toasts ringing. But Alex caught a shadow in Damien's eyes. Exhaustion, the toll of command. That night, they escaped to the cabin again. No drama, just quiet. Fishing the creek, Damien's line snagging weeds, Alex's laughter echoing. You're terrible at this, he teased, baiting Damien's hook, but perfect at everything else. Starlit by fire, Damien proposed not ring but intent. Build with me? Life, home, all. Alex's throat tightened, second life wonder blooming. Yes, they made love under blankets, the forest guardian, seals deepening. Riley's exhibit opening streamed live, Alex and Damien toasting pixels on a laptop. Killed it! Riley beamed, Portland's bridges twinkling behind. To fixes. Joy pure, but Alex's phone pinged post-call. A final anonymous missive, video of the cabin approach, timestamped their weekend. Not over. Paranoia spiked. Who? Rival? Elena relapse? Investigation deepened. The PI traced to an inside job. A disgruntled exec, Harlan's nephew. Betrayal personal. Confrontation in a dim Queen and pub, the man sneering over pints. Voss deserves fall. But evidence mounted. Arrest swift. Scandal's embers doused. Healing followed. Therapy for Damien. Couple sessions for them. Alex's vulnerability spilling. Transmigration veiled as waking up changed. Damien listened, holding space. Alex's solo show in LA loomed. Sculptures shipped. Buzz electric. Departure day. Damien drove him to Seattle-Tacoma. Kiss lingering at security. Conquer. I'll be here. LA was sun and sprawl. Galleries humming. Collectors fawning over transfigured bonds. The series born of their turmoil, raw and redemptive. Sales soared. Press dubbing Alex, Seattle's rising phoenix. Nights alone, he FaceTimed Damien. Pixels bridging miles, whispers intimate. Return brought fanfare. Airport pickup in the Audi, Damien's grin boyish. Proud doesn't cover. Homecoming heated. Penthouse alive with reunion. But unpacking. A note slipped from a crate. You fixed him. But some breaks can't mend. And signed. But scent of Elena's perfume clung. Doubt flickered, but Alex quashed it, choosing faith. They hosted a dinner. Riley flying in, Harlan grumbling blessings, even Elena tentative. Laughter flowed, toasts to survival. As plates cleared, Damien pulled Alex aside. Marry me? For real. Ring simple, platinum with emerald fleck, Jasper's eyes. Alex's yes was tear-choked, circle complete. Yet climax whispered. The note's threat, a shadow uncoiling. The engagement ring caught Seattle's perpetual drizzle like a captured storm. A glint on Alex's finger as he and Damien navigated the post-proposal glow. Morning started with coffee and clippings. Society pages cooing over Voss's bold union. Whispers of a wedding at the family estate in the San Juans. Damien dove into plans with uncharacteristic zeal. Caterers from Pike Place. A band blending folk and jazz, while Alex tempered extravagance. Intimate, he insisted over blueprints in the study. Us, friends, the sound as witness. Damien relented, eyes softening. Your call always. But beneath the domesticity, tension simmered. The note from LA haunted Alex, its perfume a ghost. He hadn't told Damien, not wanting to taint the high, but vigilance sharpened. Locks checked, blinds drawn. Harlan scoffed during a studio visit. Clay dust on his flannel. Paranoia's a thief. Confront or it steals joy. Alex nodded, but confrontation loomed like thunderheads over the Olympics. Riley's visit bridged the gap, arriving with Portland rain on his boots and a sketchbook bursting ideas. The three dined at a Wallingford oyster bar, shells cracking like old shells shed. Wedding? Spill. Riley demanded, shucking a Kumamoto with flair. Damien grinned, arm slung over Alex's chair. Summer solstice. You best man. Riley's whoop drew stares, the night dissolving into bar hopping, shots of aquavit burning paths to truths. Stumbling home, Riley crashed on the loft couch, Alex and Damien retreating to the bedroom. He's good for you, Damien murmured, undressing Alex with deliberate slowness, lips following fingers, All of this, you're good. Lovemaking was worshipful. Body's a language of amends. But as sleep tugged, Alex whispered, "What if it's too good? Like the calm before?" Damien's arm tightened. "Then we weather it. Together." Dawn brought resolve. Alex showed the note, Damien's face hardening to steel.
Elena.
But investigation cleared her, alibis ironclad, therapy logs proving distance. The PI dug deeper, unearthing a specter. Jasper's ex, Theo Lang, a bitter artist from Maine summers, scorned when Jasper chose Voss orbit. Theo, now in Seattle's underbelly, nursing grudges with cheap gin and hacks. Confrontation brewed at a derelict Fremont warehouse, Alex insisting on presence. "My ghost," he said, Damien's hand in his anchor. Theo emerged from shadows, gaunt and wild-eyed, canvas satchel slung. "You," he spat at Alex, mistaking for Jasper, "stole my light. Now play house with him?" Words tumbled. Accusations of plagiarism, heart theft, the note a desperate lash. Damien stepped forward, voice low thunder. "Enough." Jasper, Alex moved on. "As should you." But Theo lunged, knife glinting from satchel. A bluff, trembling hand betraying. Alex disarmed with words, not force. "I see you, Theo. The hurt. But this? It's poison." Police sirens wailed, called by Damien's discreet alert. Theo crumpling in cuffs, sobs echoing. "Sorry. Just wanted." Aftermath cleansed. Charges dropped to vandalism. Theo mandated rehab. Alex visited once, through bars, offering closure. "Sculpt your pain, not mine." Theo nodded, broken but glimpsing light. Driving home, Damien squeezed the wheel. "Your mercy incarnate." Alex leaned head on window. Learned from the best. Wedding prep accelerated. Invitations etched on recycled paper, evoking sound tides. Riley flew back for fittings, teasing Damien's tux woes. Butter wouldn't melt in that suit. Laughter healed, but Alex's dreams darkened. Falls, betrayals, a ring slipping into abyss. He woke sweating, Damien's arms a haven. Just dreams. He lied, but truth pressed. The story's arc demanded climax, a test to prove the fix. It struck at the rehearsal dinner, a harborside pavilion in Port Townsend, ferries chugging like old friends. Guests mingled, Harlan grumbling over clams, Elena stiff but present, Riley charming aunts. Damien pulled Alex for a quiet dance on the deck, strings swelling. "Forever starts now." Kiss sealed it, salt air witness. Then chaos. A server approached, tray trembling, envelope sealed with wax. "For Mr. Hale." Alex opened, blood draining. Photos, grainy but damning. Damien in a hotel room, not with Elena or Theo, but a stranger, time-stamped months back, pre-reconciliation. Anonymous again, but sent different, cigar smoke, boardroom vice. Alex's vision tunneled, shoving the photos at Damien. "Explain. Now." Guests hushed, Riley hovering concerned. Damien scanned, face ashen. "This, Portland trip. The client dinner. It was a setup, drug drink, blurred night. Woke alone, no memory. Hired PI then, buried it to protect the merger." His voice cracked. "Never touched him. Swear." Doubt ward, Alex's roast flaring. "Buried? Like every damn secret? How many times, Damien? Before I believe." He stormed to the railing, waves mocking below, guests murmuring. Riley followed, hand on shoulder. "Breathe, Jazz. He's scared shitless." Elena approached too, voice soft. "I know setups. Believe him." Damien knelt, photos scattering like confetti gone wrong. "I fucked up hiding it. But not the act. Tests, witnesses. I have proof." He pulled his phone, files loading. Tox reports, hotel cams showing a stumble, no intimacy. Alex sank to the deck, tears hot. "Why hide? We promised." Damien crawled closer, hands open. "Feared losing you. Idiot move." Guests encircled, Harlan's gruff, family sticks, breaking tension. Alex searched eyes, finding truth in grays. One more, Damien. Last. Forgiveness tentative, they rose, guests applauding resolve. The wedding dawned crystalline, San Juan's islands like emeralds in turquoise. Alex dressed in the boathouse, Riley adjusting tie. You deserve this. Vows exchanged on Pebble Beach, Damien's voice steady. In shadows and storms, I choose you. Alex's. To fix, not break together.
Rims exchanged, kish sealed amid cheers, seals clapping goal shore.
Honeymoon in Big Sur. Cliffs dropping to Pacific roar. Cabin nestled in redwoods. Days blurred in hikes and waves. Nights in tangled sheets. Whispers mending. No more hiding, Damien vowed, tracing Alex's ring. All in. But return brought trial's echo. The setup mastermind, a bored rival. Exposed in scandal's fallout, Voss cleansed. Elena integrated. Family dinners awkward but warming. Alex's LA success snowballed. Dual city life with Damien shuttling. Love's logistics. Riley's Portland rise paralleled. Visits bridging coasts. One night, over wine in the penthouse, the three reflected. We survived the toxic, Riley toasted. Now, the real story. Laughter rang, but Alex felt the arc crest. Climax past, denouement gentle. Yet a final shadow, health scare, Damien's checkup revealing arrhythmia, echo of father's fate. Hospital sterile, Alex vigil keeping, Harlan's words. Love's the mortar. Recovery slow, but Damien emerged softer. Priorities shifted. Semi-retirement. Philanthropy focus. Alex sculpted a triptych. Fracture, forge, flourish, sold for charity. Message clear. Life settled, second chance owned. Years folded like origami, Seattle's seasons marking time. Autumn leaves carpeting Fremont paths. Winter solstice fires in the cabin. Spring blooms rioting in community gardens they tended together. Damien's heart steadied with meds and mindfulness. His empire delegated to trusted lieutenants. Freeing days for boardwalks and brunches. Alex's studio expanded. A collective space mentoring young artists. Riley among remote collaborators. His Portland gallery a beacon for queer voices. Visits wove the triad tight. Summers in the San Juans. Barbecues with Elena's growing family. Her son calling Damien Uncle Wolf with gleeful irreverence. The transmigration's edge dulled. Alex's old life a faded Polaroid. But echoes lingered in quiet moments. Staring at the canal, wondering at the fall that birthed this. He shared fragments with Damien one equinox eve. Fire crackling in the penthouse hearth. Felt like dying, then waking in someone else's dream. Damien listened, fingers interlaced. Our dream now, whatever the start. Challenges came, human as breath. Damien's relapses into control, snapping over minor mergers. Alex's imposter pangs during biennales, crowds praising Jasper's hand as his own. Arguments flared, dishes shattering like trust, but mended quicker, therapy a well-worn path. We're clay, Alex would say, pulling Damien close. Reshape, refire. Elena's redemption flowered. Her testimony not just salvaged Voss, but launched her nonprofit, aiding whistleblowers with legal nets. Family holidays healed. Thanksgiving tables groaning under turkey and tails. Laughter burying old graves. Theo, post-rehab, sent a sculpture. Abstract amends, raw and reaching. Alex displayed it in the studio, a nod to grace. Riley's arc soared. Partner in a Seattle pop-up. Life partnered with a lanky photographer named Kai. Weddings mirroring theirs in joy. You fixed us all, he said at a joint exhibit. Arms slung around Alex and Damien. Roasted the poison right out. Climax's scar faded, but humanity's pulse brought new tests. A storm in the sound, cabin flooded, forcing rebuilds that bonded them deeper. Alex's knee surgery post-hike. Damien's bedside vigils echoing Alex's hospital watches. Through it, love deepened. Not fairy tale gloss, but weathered oak, roots entwined. One dawn, 5 years wed, they stood on the bluff where reconciliation sparked, rings glinting in first light. Second life? Alex murmured, hand on Damien's chest, feeling steady beat. Best plot twist. Damien turned, kiss salt-kissed. Ours forever. The studio thrived, Alex's latest. A monumental piece for the market. Unyielding tides. 2 figures, scarred but standing. Waves crashing harmless. Unveiling drew crowds. Mayor's speech on resilience. Damien's pride palpable. As petals fell from cherry blossoms, Alex felt the story's close. Not end, but ellipsis, life's narrative ongoing. In quiet evenings, sketching by canal light, Alex pondered the message. Compassion is compass, freedom in forgiveness, identity forged in fires shared. He transmigrated to fix a toxic romance, roasted the hot CEO until embers glowed, won his heart, and in winning, found his own. The rain fell soft, eternal, washing clean.